prospect?
Yeah, I think speaking defensively, just going off last Thursday, I mean, we didn't play close to good enough in order to win that football game. I think we did a lot of positive things, but, there's a lot of self-inflicted plays that, kind of hurt us throughout the course of the game and, didn't give us a chance to, give our offense good field position and set us up the ways that we talked about all week to win that football game. And so, going forward, we got to be able to eliminate those self-inflicted plays. Teams are good enough in the NFL to beat you on some plays every now and then anyway. So any chances you're helping them out with self-inflicted plays is always going to, hinder your chances to win that football game. So that's what we got to do better.
Justin, there's a lot of noise now around the franchise. How do you keep it business as usual with talks of trades and things of that nature going on?
Yeah, it could definitely be tough. I think one of the things that I've always taken, I think, kind of under my wing since I've been here with the different coaches and especially with just management in general is you can only control what you can control. And so in terms of the talks of trades and all that stuff, obviously none of that has been set in motion. Nothing has happened. And so, in terms of guys that are out there just, going from week to week and even the guys that are being talked about, all we can do is control, what's in front of us at this moment. And so, not speaking for everyone, but I know for the most part, everyone's locked in, on Indianapolis this week.
Because you had this last year with Demarius, some of the guys in the locker room, I guess, a little used to it because it was definitely a weird week before he got moved last year.
Yeah, it's always tough. You get so used to being around the same group of guys for a while, and you forget at times that there's a business aspect, behind the NFL, and the bottom line is you want to win football games, and when you're not doing that, changes come with that, whether that be during the season, after the season. And so, like I said, it could be a time where, it gets a little awkward and weird, at times just because you build relationships with players and their families and things in that nature. But, we know as a team, wins are the most important thing. And when you're not getting those, changes happen. So.
You've been here long enough to see pretty much all the veterans leave the secondary, especially between TJ, Akeem, Stewart. How have their departures kind of affected that group as a whole, and how have they affected you just in terms of your growth and development?
Yeah, I think when I came in here as a rookie, with Will, and, he had an opportunity to kind of learn under those guys and see how they operate, and all of them being well vested in the NFL and knowing how to play with each other, from a couple of years of experience. We learned a lot about what it takes to have a great secondary, great communication. Not only that, but you got to be able to see plays the same way and react the same way. And so, that's kind of been, part of the challenge over the last couple of years is just getting everyone on that same page. It's hard to do, especially when you're not winning football games. Like I said, changes happen. You try and bring guys in that are going to help win you games. And but I think we have a great secondary in terms of what we have now. Obviously, there's a lot of things we need to improve on, but I feel like the communication is there for the most part. Really when it comes down to it is, building that chemistry and seeing, like I talked about with, the secondary that was here when I was here as a rookie. Those guys saw things the same way. And so right now, a lot of talented guys in our back end, being with Chris, Kareem, we just got to start seeing things the same way. We may see things a little differently, but when all that gels together, we'll be more than okay.
How long does it take for a secondary to gel?
It depends. A new system. Every guy comes from different backgrounds of systems. And Kareem playing corner and safety. I think that's one of the huge benefits we have as a secondary is he sees things from both perspectives, and so he's able to give great feedback on how we're what he thinks would be best, what we think as a secondary would be best. It really just all depends. Like I said, I think we've been doing a great job in terms of what the tasks that we've been given, the assignments week in and week out, but obviously there's always room for improvement. And so looking at that, that's where I was chiming in on we can always do things a little bit better and seeing things better.
The Broncos took care of Andy Janovich. It seems like you would be next. How much do you think about your contract at this point?
Not all that often, honestly. I know that sounds like I always like to call it a media answer, but I can only control, like what I can control. And so going out there and playing on Sundays, that's the fun part. And, making plays and helping the defense and our offense, for that matter, just the team, be more successful. And so, while I'm out there, capitalize on the plays that I can make. And then, I know that, my play will take care of itself if, I'm doing all the things I'm asked to do and then some.
Do you take pride in being kind of cornerstone of this defense, certainly in that secondary?
Yeah, of course. Anytime you have, a staff, management, coaches, whatever it is, believe in you and give you a big plate, week in and week out, you definitely take that with a lot of pride because you're asked to do something, put more on your plate so you could probably put less on others. And so, that's definitely a huge accomplishment. But with that being said, you got to be able to, to do that week in and week out. Can't ask for the tough job and then, when it gets tough, kind of fall back on, I'm being asked to do a lot. And so, you got to be able to capitalize on it when your number is called to do things like that.
Devontae Harris from 2002 guys who didn't get until late, how well they fit in their expanded roles?
Yeah, and I think that's part of what I was talking about, in terms of, as a secondary, seeing everything the same. Guys from different backgrounds, guys that have played some more than others. And so, those guys come in, I thought they've been doing a great job, being aggressive, matching receivers tight in coverage when being asked to. Like I said, Vic's defense isn't an easy one to just pick up and go with. So, doing our best as a secondary to bring those guys along, adding, tools in our package that will help them be successful as possible. All the while not slowing ourselves down, as a secondary. And so, it's been huge. I think they've been doing a great job. But like I said, we can always room for improvement.
Okay, thanks, Justin.
Thank you.